This video is part of the Herb Embroidery Stitch Along series by Chrissie Crafts. Other video tutorials are available in the series. Thanks for watching and happy stitching! Okay, today we're going to do the Lazy Daisy stitch as part of the Herb Embroidery series. I have 2 strands of white embroidery thread. I'm going to go here on the chamomile flowers with the back stitch stem. These are going to be tiny lazy daisies. So starting with this top petal, I bring my needle up, then I put my needle back down right where I came up. And then before I pull that taut, that loop, I'm going to bring the needle up at the top of that petal, there. You'll see it makes a petal. I don't want to pull it too tight because I want these ones quite loopy. I'll show you other variations of the Lazy Daisy. I've included many in this Herb Embroidery sampler. So you could see these are going to be long ones. These are going to be clusters for the lavender, so that you could see just how versatile the Lazy Daisy stitch is. When you have the loop there, we're going to secure that loop by coming just to the other side of it and making one tiny stitch. There. So you see how that one tiny stitch just kind of locks that into place. I'll do another one. I want that there. I want it here. So I come up, again I go down in the same space that I came up. And then I come up at the end of the petal, pull up, don't pull too tight. The tighter you pull, see what happens? That goes quite tight and lengthy, but for the chamomile I kind of want the little rounded petals. And again, the other side of that loop. I'm going to insert the stitch. And you keep going around and around. Okay, one more time. Up. Back in the same space. To the end of the petal. And then on the other side of that petal. Lock it into place. Now here are the little Lazy Daisies, all finished with the 2 chamomile flowers. I'll show the French knot centers in another tutorial. But before I go on, I want to show some different Lazy Daisy stitches. We're going to do some lavender stems, and then we'll do the echinacea here. For the lavender, I have 2 needles loaded up with thread in 2 separate colors of purple, just to give some depth. You could use as many colors as you'd like. You could use 1 color, that's absolutely fine. Just thought I'd show you a little bit of variation. So starting with the darker purple, we'll come up here. Back down. Now rather than make these more rounded open petals, I'm going to do them a little bit more tightly, compactly. So I'm going to pull a little bit more tightly there. You can see it goes closed. And as before, I'm going to insert the needle back to the other side of that stitch. I'm not precisely following my tracing, the drawing on here. That was just to give me an idea of how I wanted to do the rows. They're just guidelines. One more here. Careful that it doesn't twist all up like that. See, there's the beginnings of that. What I'll do quickly is just pull that to the front so it stays out of my way. And I'm going to get the second color. Just do a little bit of shading. You could just see what happens if I layer lazy daisy stitches. There's nothing stopping you from putting one on top of the other one. So let's see if I go to the middle of that last one, make a bit of a smaller lazy daisy. I'm going to still keep it inside that last one. Let's put another one. I need my needle minder. Let's bring that one up here. You can see if you pull tightly, pulls that quite taut. And it just gives some subtle shading. When I'm all finished, I'll insert a photo here so you can see how it builds up. I might insert one here between these two, going up to the next level. So that's the lavender, working in 2 shades of lavender. So here's the lavender after I added a number of lazy daisy stitches with 2 colors of embroidery thread. Now let's see what we can do with the echinacea to show you how to do very long lazy daisy stitches. I'm going to start in the middle and work my way out to try to keep everything even. So I come up, go back in the same spot, and this time I'm going to come down very long. I want it a little longer than that. And I'm going to pull it taut. So you see what happens there, as opposed to these here that are nice loopy open petals. I want this to be quite a sharp, straight petal, like you'll find on echinacea. I'm just going to do a whole bunch of these. And come up, go back down, quite close to the previous one. Pull it taut. This all shows you what tension can do. If you pull more tightly with your tension of the needle, you get longer, straighter stitches, tighter stitches. Keep it loose. Nice loopy open petals. And the lavender flowers show you what you get if you're halfway between. So there we are, completed echinacea flower with the longer lazy daisy stitches all clustered together. It looks a bit silly right now, but it'll make much more sense when we get that nice cone center in a satin stitch, which will be in a separate tutorial. So these are just 3 examples of how to do lazy daisy. Rounded petals, medium little clusters layered on top of each other and shaded, and long and lean for long petals. Happy stitching!